Port Charles was about to witness one of the most explosive weeks in recent memory. Secrets buried for years would finally come to light. Families would be torn apart, and lives would hang in the balance as betrayal, revenge, and shocking revelations collided. The chaos began with a decision that nobody saw coming. For months, tensions between Willow and Michael had continued to escalate. What started as disagreements over family matters had transformed into a bitter war filled with accusations, manipulation, and emotional devastation. Michael believed he was protecting his family. Willow believed Michael had crossed a line that could never be forgiven. Everything changed when Willow received evidence connecting Michael to a secret operation designed to control crucial information regarding several Port Charles residents. At first, Willow refused to believe it. The Michael she loved wasn't capable of such deception. Or so she thought. Late one evening, Willow sat alone inside the gatehouse reviewing documents she had obtained anonymously. Every page revealed another disturbing detail: hidden payments, destroyed evidence, witness intimidation. The deeper she dug, the more horrified she became. "Please tell me this isn't true," she whispered. Unfortunately, it was. The next morning, Willow marched directly to the PCPD carrying a thick folder. Inside the station, Detective Chase immediately noticed something was wrong. "Willow?" She placed the folder on his desk. "You need to arrest Michael." The room fell silent. "What?" "You heard me." Chase opened the file. His face slowly turned pale. Minutes later, multiple officers were dispatched. Meanwhile, Michael was attending a meeting at Aurora. He never expected what happened next. The conference room doors suddenly opened. Several officers entered. Michael stood. "What's going on?" One officer stepped forward. "Michael Corinthos, you're under arrest." The entire room erupted. "What are you talking about?" "You have the right to remain silent." Michael looked around in disbelief. Then his eyes landed on Willow standing in the hallway. She didn't say a word. Her expression told him everything. She had turned him in. Shock transformed into fury. "You did this?" Tears filled Willow's eyes. "You left me no choice." As handcuffs clicked around his wrists, Michael realized his life was falling apart. But the arrest was only the beginning. Elsewhere in Port Charles, another bombshell was preparing to explode. Ethan Lovett had been quietly investigating a mystery connected to several influential residents. For weeks, he followed leads that appeared unrelated: missing records, altered medical files, bribed officials. The pieces didn't fit together until one night. Inside an abandoned warehouse near the docks, Ethan finally discovered what someone had desperately tried to hide: a hidden archive. Boxes filled with documents, financial records, DNA reports, medical histories, everything. Ethan spent hours reviewing the contents. Then he found the file, the one that changed everything. His eyes widened. No way. The truth was even bigger than he imagined. Someone had manipulated events for years. Entire lives had been built upon lies, and several powerful people were directly involved. Ethan immediately contacted multiple family members. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only person who knew about the archive. A mysterious figure watched from the shadows. The moment Ethan left the warehouse, a phone call was made. "He's found it." The response came instantly. "Stop him." The race had begun. Back at General Hospital, Jocelyn Jacks was focused on helping a patient involved in a recent accident. What she didn't realize was that danger was already heading her way. Joss had recently uncovered information regarding the same conspiracy Ethan was investigating. She planned to meet him later that evening. That meeting would never happen. As Joss exited the hospital parking garage, she noticed a black SUV parked nearby. The engine was running. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. She reached for her phone. Before she could react, a masked figure emerged. Joss turned and ran. The attacker chased her. Her heart pounded. She sprinted toward the street. Cars rushed past. People shouted. Then everything happened in seconds. A loud screech. A flash of headlights. Impact. Joss was thrown across the pavement. The world went dark. Witnesses screamed. Someone called 911. Blood spread across the concrete. By the time paramedics arrived, Joss wasn't responding. Inside General Hospital's emergency room, panic spread quickly. Carly arrived first. The moment she saw her daughter lying unconscious, she nearly collapsed. No, no, no. Doctors rushed Joss into surgery. Monitors beeped frantically. Every second mattered. Meanwhile, Ethan arrived at the hospital after hearing the news. His face turned white. This wasn't an accident. Carly stared at him. "What are you saying?" Ethan looked around carefully. Then he spoke. "Someone tried to kill her." The statement sent shockwaves through everyone present. Hours later, Michael sat inside a jail cell replaying the events that led to his arrest. Anger consumed him. He blamed Willow. He blamed Chase. He blamed everyone except himself. Then an unexpected visitor arrived. Sonny. The mob boss stood silently for several moments. "You really messed this up." Michael laughed bitterly. "You're here to lecture me?" "No." Sonny stepped closer. "I'm here because something bigger is happening." Michael frowned. "What are you talking about?" Sonny lowered his voice. "Ethan found something." The moment Sonny explained, Michael's expression changed completely. Because if Ethan revealed the truth, many lives would be destroyed, including Sonny's, including Michael's, and including several people nobody suspected. Back at the hospital, surgeons continued fighting to save Joss. Complications emerged: internal bleeding, brain swelling, cardiac instability. The prognosis grew worse by the hour. Outside the operating room, Carly sat frozen. Jason Morgan stood beside her. Neither spoke. Neither needed to. The fear was obvious. When the lead surgeon finally emerged, everyone jumped to their feet. "Doctor?" The physician looked exhausted. "We managed to stabilize her." Relief flooded the room, but it didn't last. "However," the word stopped everyone cold. "Her condition remains critical." Carly began crying. Jason clenched his fists. The nightmare wasn't over. The following day, Ethan called an emergency gathering at the Metro Court. Nearly every major player in Port Charles attended. Nobody knew why. The ballroom buzzed with tension. Then Ethan stepped onto the stage. He held a thick folder. "I asked all of you here because the truth can no longer stay hidden." Silence fell. Every eye focused on him. "What truth?" someone asked. Ethan took a deep breath. "The truth about the conspiracy that has manipulated lives for years." Gasps echoed across the room. Several faces immediately showed panic. Others looked confused. Ethan began revealing evidence, one document after another: financial transactions, forged records, secret agreements, witness statements. Every revelation hit harder than the last. Then came the ultimate shock: a DNA report. The room exploded. People shouted. Others cried. Several individuals attempted to leave. Ethan stopped them. "No, you're staying." For years, certain powerful figures had hidden biological relationships, destroyed evidence, and manipulated family connections. Everything was finally exposed. Willow stared in disbelief. Michael looked stunned. Sonny appeared furious. Carly couldn't believe what she was hearing. The truth changed everything. Then suddenly, a gunshot rang out. Panic erupted. Guests dove for cover. Screams filled the ballroom. Ethan stumbled backward. Blood appeared on his shoulder. Someone had tried to silence him. Again. Jason immediately sprang into action. Security rushed forward. The shooter escaped through a rear exit. But the damage had been done. As paramedics treated Ethan, he grabbed Jason's arm. "Don't let them destroy the evidence." Jason nodded. "I won't." Days later, Port Charles remained in chaos. Michael's legal troubles continued. Willow struggled with guilt despite believing she had done the right thing. Ethan recovered while authorities investigated the attempted murder. But the most heartbreaking battle remained Joss's. Inside her hospital room, machines continued monitoring her fragile condition. Family members rotated around the clock. Nobody wanted to leave. Then, one evening, the impossible happened. A monitor suddenly began sounding alarms. Doctors rushed inside, nurses followed, the hallway filled with panic. Carly watched helplessly. "What's happening?" Nobody answered. The medical team worked desperately. Minutes felt like hours. Finally, the doors opened. The physician emerged. His expression was impossible to read. Everyone held their breath. "Is she alive?" The doctor paused, then he smiled. "She's awake." Tears immediately filled Carly's eyes. Jason closed his eyes in relief. The entire family broke down emotionally. Joss had survived, but survival came with a shocking twist. When doctors questioned her about the attack, Joss remembered something important. A face, a voice, a name. She knew who had ordered the hit, and if her memory was correct, the person responsible was someone nobody expected, someone trusted, someone powerful, someone whose downfall would rock Port Charles forever. As Joss prepared to reveal what she knew, Ethan's evidence continued exposing new secrets. Michael faced an uncertain future behind bars, and Willow wondered whether turning in the man she once loved would ultimately save lives or destroy them all. One thing was certain: the next chapter in Port Charles would be even more explosive than anyone imagined, and the biggest shock was still to come.